What's up, sports fans? It's your man D back. Speak your mind sports talk. All right, check it out. We talking teams that benefited big from this COVID-19 layoff and how they might look coming into these playoffs. For the love of sports, let's talk about it. So let's crank this up with Ja Morant and the Memphis Grizzlies. Check it out, man. They getting Jackson Jr. back. They benefited huge from this layoff. And I'll tell you about Jackson Jr. He's a center. He's mobile. He's agile. He can play down inside. But the special thing about Jackson is he's a high quality 3-point shooter. And Ja Morant and the way he handles that ball, the screens that he set for Jackson leaves him wide open. You know, a lot of these centers don't want to pull away. And with a good enough screen, Jackson's going to be wide open a lot of times because he's the center. He doesn't require as much attention, especially as Ja Morant does. And, you know, just the fact that he's been able to nurse that knee and, you know, not be at practice, guys, even if these guys don't play in official games, practice, you still wear and tearing on that injury. So he's had time to nurse that injury. He's going to come back strong, Jackson Jr. And watch out for the Memphis Grizzlies. Let's see if they can find their way into the playoff. Do I expect them to win it all? No. I don't expect them to win it all. But I would like to see these guys get into the playoffs, give them some experience, because one thing's for sure, I believe that the Memphis Grizzlies with Ja Morant Jr. and Derrick Brooks, I think that this is a team to look out for in the future. But I do think that they've benefited massively off this layoff. Zion Williamson, Lonzo Ball, Brandon Ingram, the New Orleans Pelicans may just be the most dangerous team, and that, you know, at the bottom of that bracket trying to find their way into the playoffs. I think that these guys benefited tremendously when it comes to this layoff. Now, think about this, guys. We know that Zion Williamson, I believe, was a lot of people's pick to snatch that Rookie of the Year title, but he faced an injury, you know, and that kind of kept him out of the game. When he did return, he was on minute restrictions, but benefits of the layoff, Zion Williamson is back full-fledged. He is not on minute restrictions no more. And guys, let's be honest about it. The Pelicans were a good team, but they were very good when you put Zion Williamson on that floor. Zion Williamson down in that hole, he can score damn near at will. And the thing with the Pelicans that makes them so dangerous is you have a ton of playmakers on that team. You know, you have Holiday, you have Ball, you have Brandon Ingram that can make plays. And when you have guys that can handle that ball, find their shot and make plays, then that requires defense. And one thing about Zion Williamson is it's tough to kind of try to leave. You can't leave that young man in the hole alone. It's almost automatic score. And, you know, watch out for the Pelicans, man. I think that they're going to make some noise. I do expect them to potentially get into that playoff. Many people have given up on Lonzo Ball, but I haven't. And I do believe that Lonzo Ball, Zion Williamson are going to be a big 1-2 punch coming here in the future. Don't give up on Lonzo Ball. Lonzo Ball's been throwing full court passes since high school. Think about full court passes with a guy like Zion Williamson catching it down at the other end. Zion Williamson has an incredible jab step. He gets in there, jab step, and it's either a dunk or an easy layup. And none of these guys can defend it. Zion Williamson has done it on the best of them. Rudy Gobert, you know. Watch out for the Pelicans, man. You know, the Pelicans, that's my dark horse team I like Zion Williamson. I like this young group, and I think that this is a team that's going to be dominant in the future. Do I expect them to win? No, but I think that they may be able to find themselves in the playoffs this season. You gotta love Chris Paul and the Oklahoma City Thunder. Shea Gilchrist, man, let me tell you something. Dennis Schroeder, Chris Paul, and Gilchrist, they're killing it. The teams all around the league are having problems with these three guys. You got three guys who are extreme playmakers, can handle that ball very well, and can find a man. They can drop a dime quick fast, put it right in the pocket for an easy score, and they're causing teams all around the league trouble. This is one of my teams that I think very much benefited from this layoff. Little nagging injuries around the team, but those things will be healed up, because of the layoff. Again, same as I said about other players, not having to practice and be on those legs. You don't give yourself enough time to thoroughly heal, but being on this layoff, a lot of these guys are thoroughly healing. And many people, including myself, pretty much put OKC out of it. Once Russ left and went to Houston, I pretty much thought it was a wrap, and I think a lot of people did too. But OKC Thunder says, no. Guys, they're actually a game above where they were last season with Russell Westbrook. And there's always been a question about Russell Westbrook's playmaking. Well, now you have three dynamic playmakers. You have three dynamic decision makers. And let me correct myself. There was always a question about Russell's decision making. Well, Chris Paul is probably at the, maybe number one, number two in the league when it comes to making decisions with that ball. Dennis Schroeder is a hell of a guard, and Gilchrist, this kid is just taking off. I mean, with this three-man punch, these small guys, these guards running all around the floor, it's hard for these defenses to defend them. I think that the OKC Thunder benefited huge from this layoff, and I also believe that they will make it out of the first round of the playoffs. Shout out to Chris Paul, Gilchrist, Dennis Schroeder, and the Thunder. The Portland Trailblazers, Dame Lillard, CJ McCollum. This team to me has benefited, massively from this layoff. I believe the Portland Trailblazers and the Los Angeles Clippers, in my opinion, these are the two teams that have benefited the most. Let's talk about the Portland Trailblazers. They get Zach Collins. He's coming back. Okay. And Hassan Whiteside has been an addition to the team, and he was dealing with some injuries. And as I've said before, this layoff, not practicing and such, he's been able to nurse his injury. But the biggest benefit, in my opinion, for the Portland Trailblazers is the return of Jusuf Nurkic. I'll tell you guys what, man, with Jusuf Nurkic returning, you have Hassan Whiteside down there. Let me tell you something, guys. The big men down in Portland is going to be key. Now, Portland is right outside of, the playoffs. I do believe Portland has everything it takes, to get within 4 games. And I don't really care who the 9th team is or who the 8th seeded team is. I do believe that Portland Trailblazers will take them out and advance to the playoffs. Also, I'm betting that Portland Trailblazers makes it out of the first round of that playoffs, and Portland Trailblazers to be a factor in this NBA playoff altogether. This is a team, because of the layoff, could actually win the whole thing, guys. CJ McCollum and Damian Lillard are arguably the best backcourt in the league. Well, bringing back Nurkic, Hassan Whiteside, Zach Collins, all of these guys coming off of injury also makes them a pretty defensively responsible dominant defensive team down low. So you have a great inside team. Now you have probably, like I said, arguably the best backcourt team. Watch out for the Portland Trailblazers to actually not only make it to the playoffs, but potentially take the whole thing, guys. Yes, potentially take the whole thing. As far as championships, Portland Trailblazers are one of my dark horse teams to take the title. This is the first 4 of 8 teams I feel benefited most on this layoff. We're going to do this in a 2-part series. So to be continued, shall I say. And y'all know how I always end this thing. For the love of sports, let's talk about it. Peace.